Father Matt, who lives here at the rectory with me and is the chaplain at the Diddy Center, is a dedicated priest, good-natured, and he's given me permission to share this story with you. Recently, he's been asking me lots of landscaping questions. I don't know why he would ask me those questions, but he's been asking questions and sharing his plans. He said, admittedly, I don't have much landscaping experience, only cutting grass when I was growing up. And he said the student who used to look over the beds has been gone for quite some time, and they've been overgrown. And the more he shared with me his questions and his plans, the more I offered to just take a look. And so he said, yeah, go ahead and do that. And I did. And when we reconnected, he said, so what do you think? And with great tact, I said, you have a terrible mess on your hands. I said, I think your estimation of the height of the weeds at 2 foot or so might have been a little high, except for 2 or 3 weeds that were 3 or 4 feet high. I said, here's what I would do. Scrap your plans, the plans for just you and a half-time helper. Scrap those plans, save your energy, your time, and your money. Just have your lawn care company weed eat all the way to the building, all the way through the beds, and then at some point pay someone to do the work. It was kind of funny yesterday, a little ironic. I was out spraying in our beds here, spraying the weeds. He saw it and then later kind of teased me about it because it's hard to see too many weeds. And I said, well, I find that approach helpful. You know the saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. He said, oh yeah, I can see that. God's seed, his word of truth and love, is powerful, 30, 60, 100-fold. But it's not the only force at work. There are others. The evil one is at work, but he's characterized as stealing away what was sown in the heart because the word is heard without understanding. Understanding means comprehending the whole picture, piecing everything together so that one can clearly see. The devil is at work, but ignorance gives him an opening. That means that education, not just any education, but comprehensive education matters. The content matters, the teacher matters, the student's efforts matter. The responsibility is shared, and not knowing is not an excuse, and not without consequences. Evil is at work in the world, and it takes advantage of those with only a partial vision of life. But the soul, which is fruitful, not only understands, but has the depth necessary for deep roots. The word roots is used as a metaphor for interior stability. So this person has an interior life, a character, which is secure in the midst of an insecure and unstable world because she has seen things for what they are. This is true, this is false. This is valuable, this is not. She has seen this and has not only understood, but has acted. Like the wise man, Jesus said, acted upon his words and built his house on rock. And the floods came, the winds blew and buffeted the house, but it couldn't destabilize it because of its interior strength. Character is built not just by knowing. It's not sufficient to send your kids to religious ed only, but by doing. Yet it seems that understanding and morality are still susceptible to the thorns and weeds of the lure of riches and worldly anxiety. St. Paul wrote that the love of wealth is idolatry, and anxiety is not permissible for the Christian because anxiety has to do with a lack of trust in Christ, who has overcome the world. Therefore, What? Understanding and character need faith in order to be abundantly fruitful, ward off the forces of evil from without and the evil that springs from within. Friends, the longer this pandemic goes, the more concerned I am for the comprehensive well-being of Christians in general and my specific flock here at Sacred Heart. So many spiritual supports have been discontinued or dispensed with: the obligation for Sunday Mass, summer camps, religion classes, prayer groups, adoration, community activities. Everyone that I know benefits from spiritual obligations and routines. Without these, so much space is made for the weeds of ignorance and vice and anxiety to grow, and for the devil to do his thing. I suspect this concern is behind the updated Archdiocesan guidelines in which the Archbishop's voice can be heard. They in part read, "The dispensation from Sunday Mass continues because the Church does not want to place a moral burden on those who should not attend Sunday Mass because of age or health conditions. However, Catholics are still obliged to keep the commandments, including the commandment to keep holy the Lord's Day. Families who choose not to attend Mass should conduct a liturgy of the Word in the home. Individuals and families should spend additional time in prayer, pious devotions, and spiritual reading on Sunday. Younger adults who are least at risk from the virus should take advantage of the opportunity to participate at Mass and to receive Holy Communion if they are properly disposed. If those in good health are attending other large social gatherings, they should also be participating at the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass on Sundays. So if you're joining in your kids' Little League games or softball or whatever tournaments, he's saying you should be here, you're bound to be here. And if you decide that that dispensation does not apply to you according to your health or your age, then you're saying that dispensation does not apply to me. So I am bound to be here and cannot just decide willy-nilly whether I will come or I will not. You see, evil has no stay-at-home order, and it loves to play when hands are idle. Don't let it sneak up on you and overwhelm you and those you love. Fulfill your responsibility now as ever. Do what can be done. Develop your understanding, your character, and your faith.